Hey everybody, Mark Kohler here with an important Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and I'm going to look cross-eyed because I got two cameras going on here. Don't go anywhere yet. Let me just explain what this video is about. Maybe we'll be here 20 minutes or so at most, but I'm doing this for you live that are participating. I've got Q&A. I already got questions in the hopper. I got a client in South Carolina from Florida with his S Corp getting a 1099, wants to know what he can write off on housing and food, and it's awesome. So if you're a small business owner and you want to know your best tax write-offs, and you got a small business that is off the ground and cranking, don't go anywhere. For those that are live, drop your question in down below, and I'm going to try to hit everything I can right now on YouTube or Facebook Live. Now, I'm a CPA, attorney, best-selling author, blah, 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 but most importantly, I'm an entrepreneur, and I love small business, and I love the American dream. I'm right here broadcasting from Main Street, USA, hating on Wall Street, wanting you guys to live your dream and what you want best out of life. Now, I've got a new workbook out called The 8 Steps to Start and Grow Your Business. This is what it looks like. It's pretty awesome. 8 Steps to Start and Grow Your Business. This is my copy because I'm continuing to make notes in it. Isn't this cool? Oh, it's so awesome. Well, we're going to talk about step 1 on this video right here. I want to present the strategies for this. Now, if you've bought my workbook and you're going through the videos, I have a full hour and a half where I go through step 1. That's not this video. This is more like an introduction in a sense. I'm going to get as in-depth as you guys want. But step 1 is critical, and obviously all the steps are important in my opinion. So we're going to go through this concept design and service product development. Now this workbook, what's cool about it is there's like 46 different videos, and you can just hold your phone over a QR code, watch a video, catch a webinar, listen to a podcast. You fill out this workbook, and at the end, after filling out all these different little tables, it spits out a business plan and a strat plan and a marketing plan. Yes, this thing is freaking awesome, but this is not an infomercial. I won't do that to you at Entrepreneur or on my own site. I'm not doing that. I want to be here with content today. If you want to learn more about this, get over to markjkohler.com. It'll be in the content below. Now, Darcy Myers, as usual, is over on the computer taking your live questions. Should we give her a visual? There's Darcy over there. Okay, no, we're good? Okay, all right. And she's like, do not point the camera at me. So anyway, we're ready to go, so drop in your questions below. Now, step 1, concept design and systems and product development and all this is so important. And what I want to do is explain, and we're going to get into technical questions. Any of you that have a question about what's a tax write-off this year after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, can I write this off? Do I need an LLC? Do I need an S Corp? I'll go into those in depth. Any question you want to ask, I'm going to hit it. But I want to introduce step 1. Whew. Let me take a breath. I'm drinking my Diet Mountain Dew just for you guys. Now, here's the thing. If you're building a small business that you already have, you're always thinking of new ideas, new products, new services. That's like starting a business within itself, right? Because you've got to think, is this going to be a good idea? Is it going to make sense? Where am I going with this? If for those of you that are just dipping your toe into entrepreneurship, you may be thinking, oh, is this a good idea or not? And how do I, kind of bring it together? Well, that's where there's 3 plans involved. And I'm a huge believer in this. There's 3 plans. You got your business plan. And many people think, that's it. The business plan is the end. I do my business plan and that's my guidebook. Guys, your business plan is a one-time event. Now, I do consultations with clients all over the country. We've got like 5 attorneys here, 7 or 8 CPAs, and an amazing support team of paralegals and accountants. We do consults every day with clients around the country, and it's on a regular basis. I meet with people that are really frustrated. They started a business 3 years ago, and they're like, if I only knew what I did now, I would have done it differently. They still would have been an entrepreneur, and they would have modified the business, but they learned all these things along the way that it puts them in a regrettable spot now. And I always ask them, did you do your business plan? Didn't you know there was a competitor across town that did the same thing, or the pricing was jacked up? Well, I didn't do a business plan. I just had a good feeling and I went for it. Now guys, I bless you for your tenacity, your excitement, and you take the leap of faith to start a small business. But guys, the purpose of the business plan is not to tell you whether or not to go into business. Is to help you craft the right business to start. That's why so many businesses fail. It's because people put their ladder against the wall and start climbing and they go, oh, I'm against the wrong wall. I don't want to be here. Let's stop and think for a minute. So a business plan, in my opinion, is a one-time event. You're going to do a business plan to determine, is this business a good idea? Who are my competitors? What's my pricing model? Are people going to buy this? You may even test your product out. Do some surveys. Get it out on social media. Tell people your idea. Now there might be some confidentiality, or if you're inventing something, you want to be a little more private about that, but get out and test market in a small pool and see what's going on. That's what a business plan is all about. So in my step 1 of the book, I go through and ask you questions to help you craft it. Now, the other 2 plans, which you're going to love, come out of the business plan. This is your strat plan or strategic plan and your marketing plan. Now, the marketing plan and your strategic plan, those live on. Those go with you everywhere you go. I've got mine right here over on the table. I'm not kidding. I take it home with me at night. It's next to me by my bed. And when I have an idea, I put it in my strat plan or marketing plan. A business plan helps you design how you're going to market your business. And it also gives you the roadmap. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years. How is my business going to come alive? Well, that's the strat plan. So in your concept design, I want to go through a few important tips. Now start writing your questions down below on some tax and legal questions. We've got, I forgot his first name, on his South Carolina, Florida question. We're going to come to that. But let me just take you through a few of the questions that I think are so important in this first step. You know, I had a client literally text me this morning at 7:30. Great guy. I almost get emotional when I start talking about it. He's trying to reinvent his life, and he's looking to start a new business, but he doesn't know what to start, and he's really frustrated. And so some people, you out there, you got your day job, but you hate it, so you want to start a small business on the side. Don't give up. Take your time, though. And one of the first things I go through is I'm asking you, what are you passionate about? What are you good at? Would you have a business partner? Who would you choose if you wanted to have a business partner? I want you to come up with 5, 6 ideas of small businesses and start thinking about them and developing what they might look like. What is your niche? What's going to make you different? We start talking about your business plan layout and who's your competition. I want to ask, find your top 3 competitors. What are their strengths and weaknesses? What would your strengths and weaknesses be? Why you're going through this is I want you to start a business you're just excited about. Why not wake up every day doing something you love and making money at it? That's legal, mind you. I just want to point that out. So make sure that you're out there building a dream about what you love to do. I'm going to give one other example. I've got a guy, he started out in corporate America, hated it. Every night, he couldn't wait till 5 o'clock to hit the road. My camera guy, he knows him right now, Corey, right? 5 o'clock, he was fly fishing. That was his dream. He could not wait to get out of the office. And he finally said, you know what? Why am I doing this? Now, he built some relationships with some other fly fishing guides. On the side, he was saving his money, buying him his own float boat, buying himself a truck, getting a trailer. Remember all this, Corey? Yeah. And he would talk about, man, I can't wait to go fly fishing this weekend. But then all of a sudden the light went on and he said, I'm going to start my own fly fishing guide business and I'm going to do what I love. Even if I'm living month to month, at least I wake up doing what I love. So important that we have a business that we're building around a concept and a thing that we love. So important. Okay, now, I'm just going to wrap this up and then we're going to do some Q&A. And I'm here for you. Write your questions down below on any tax strategy, legal structuring, S Corp, LLC. We're going to break it down. In the final takeaways of section 1 of my How to Start a Small Business, I want you to think of an executive summary. That elevator pitch, which I love that Entrepreneur does. Everybody, you've got to be on Facebook Live on Wednesdays on Entrepreneur to catch elevator pitch because you want to be able to describe your business on an elevator ride. Start working towards that and talk about what you're passionate about, who your competitors are, and who's you're different. That's why you're different. That, my friends, is step 1 of how to start a small business or grow. your business. All right, now we're going to hit some Q&A, and I'm all here for you. And I wanted to suggest to all of you, if this is ringing in a chord, please get over to my site, check out my little workbook. You can do it online, you can do it in print, whatever you want, you can start doing it immediately. And I'm going to tell you the 8 steps, because I'm going to do 8 videos on this, and hopefully you can watch some of them. Number 2 is building your financials and raising capital. Step 3, maintaining a strategic plan. That's building this piece of it. And then a whole section on banking and bookkeeping. I have clients call every day, should I set up my bank account for my business? Utilizing a marketing plan so that you have your brother and sister there, legal structures and procedures, tax planning, my favorite, writing off expenses, and then finally systemizing the business and reducing overall expenses. Those are my 8 steps. Guys, I've been doing this for 20 years. I know I look like a millennial, but really, I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm helping people build their business every day. This thing's like 99 bucks. You can access it right away. So get over to markjkohler.com and check it out. All right, now, questions. All right, Darcy, should I get yours first? You ready to roll? Or should I? Okay, you go.
No, we already got 2. Mark Green on Facebook is asking, can you talk about how to get money as a profit company by setting up arm length contracts with nonprofits for events?
Oh my gosh. Mark says he's got a business, all right? So we're gonna assume this is an operational business. And remember, today, we can talk about anything you want. You're gonna put operations on this side, you're gonna put your assets on this side. So over here might be rental property, your Airbnb, your VRBO rental. You're gonna put your investments, your holdings, your notes. You're gonna put your home over here, your life insurance, your 401k, your IRAs, your blah, blah, blah. This is all your assets. What Mark's asking is, he says he's got a business, so an operational business. And he wants to go out and work with nonprofits. So think of this like, I guess, United Way. He's gonna go to United Way and say, I can do something for United Way and I wanna have a contract with you to build my business. And think about that. I mean, I'm not opposed to what Mark's talking about. Does United Way buy water bottles to go off and give away to people in a hurricane damaged area? Or Salvation Army, right? Sure. So they're gonna buy products from someone. Not everything is gonna be donated. So I guess what I'm assuming Mark's talking about is, in your business, which might be an LLC or a corporation, and this is for profit, so you're wanting to make money, this is your business and you own it, can you sign contracts with nonprofits that help build your business? So you're gonna sell products to a nonprofit. And the answer is yeah, you can do it, just treat them like any other for-profit. Darcy, next question.
On YouTube, I don't know his name, but his YouTube channel name is Get What You Want Consulting. He says, hey Mark, thanks a ton. Question, 2 rental investment properties, living in 1, 2 consulting companies, a therapy business, and 2 books to publish in the near future. How should we structure?
Boy, so, and what's his handle?
It's Get What You Want Consulting.
Get What You Want Consulting just asked me a huge question. He's trying to get what he wants. I appreciate that. I'm going to call you John Doe. I said it could be Mary Jane, but John or Mary, let me say this. You need a consultation, but so let me throw this out though for everybody. He said, Mark, I've got 2 rental properties. I'm going to try to remember this, Darcy. 2 rental properties. He lives in one of them. So the other one he's renting out rooms or doing an Airbnb, VRBO. Then he's got he says he has 2 businesses.
Consulting companies,
2 consulting companies.
A therapy business.
A therapy business.
And 2 books to publish.
And he's got 2 books to publish. Let's go with operations first, everybody. If you've got multiple businesses, this is very important. Many of you will find this maybe earth-shattering. Anybody that's watched me before, you know where I'm going. I want you to have 1 parent company. I want you to have 1 Microsoft, 1 Apple, 1 AT&T that's yours. So John or Mary, what I'm going to say is, I want to make sure that you choose one of your companies, maybe with more of a generic name. Get What You Want Consulting. Get What You Want Consulting, GWYW, whatever. This might be your S corporation, which is typical. And then it's going to own the therapy business. It's going to own the consulting business. You might publish a couple books. You might own a URL. But the point is, I want you to bring all your operations into 1 parent company. This is where you're going to do your salary K1, your W-2 K1. We're going to get the new 20% pass-through. I'm going to write off home office, auto, dining, computers, electronics, the kids. I want everything in your S Corp to be your parent. This is where you're going to file a consolidated tax return. And this consolidated tax return will help bring together your overall business into one bucket. And you can have a partner over here. This could be a Subway sandwich shop. This could be an Applebee's. This could be a tech company. I don't care. Let them all flow into one. I'm Mark Kohler. I got multiple businesses, but I have one S Corp, and it's Mark J. Kohler Inc. right here. Then he's got a couple rentals. We're going to decide if you have one LLC, two LLCs, are they in the same state? Do you have multiple partners? Is one a bed and breakfast and a VRBO? So there's lots of issues here, right? This is where a half hour or an hour with one of our tax lawyers, I'm going to build you a bubble chart, give you an item task list of things to do, and we're going to bring it all together. It's not going to cost you $5,000 for some coaching program in Vegas this weekend to figure it out. We can do it in 1 hour on the phone with one of my amazing tax attorneys. Give us a call. Just get a quote, do an interview. Interview us to see if we're a good fit. But this type of question, people, and I love this question, you got to sit down for an hour and get into the nuts and bolts. All right, now I got another good question here. Darcy is okay?
Yeah. Devin.
Hold on, before you go, I'm going to do this one.
Sorry,
Adrian, do you have a first name on this one?
Evan.
Okay, Evan, this is for you, baby. And I want to let you know, Adrian has been carrying this note around for a week, making sure that when I do my Facebook, YouTube Live, we covered it. Okay, so Evan, now this is good for everybody. He says, Mark, I'm currently on a job in South Carolina. I already read his notes, so I can do it from memory here. He goes, I'm on a job in South Carolina, but I'm from Florida. All right. And he goes, I'm going to go work up in South Carolina and get a 1099. So guys, what does that tell us? All right. So we've got his corporation, because if he's going to get a 1099, I don't want to throw it through an LLC. LLCs do not save taxes, people. I've written books about it. I'll preach it from the rooftops. Do not think you're going to go online and set up a freaking LLC and save taxes. They don't. We're going to convert it to an S Corp. Now you can have an LLC taxed as an S Corp, but ultimately, Evan, you're going to be an S Corp. But he lives down here in Florida. And then he's going to go to South Carolina to go make money. And he's going to get a 1099. And we want that 1099 to go into his S Corp. Any of you doing internet sales, online sales, you want your revenue to go into your S Corp. All right, cool. And then he's going to do his little salary dividend split. We're going to write everything up. Well, the first question, and Evan, I got to give it to you. I'm proud of you for not asking this. I thought he was going to say, hey, I'm really from Florida with no state tax. Can I get out of state tax by working up in South Carolina, but say I'm from Florida? He did not say that. I am so proud of you, Evan. Because, guys, when you live in a tax-free state like Texas, Washington, Florida, but you go to another state that has taxes, like New Jersey, Arizona, or Minnesota, when you work there, you're going to pay taxes on the proportion of income that you earn there, whether it's a W-2 or a small business. Moreover, Evan, you're going to have to register your S Corp foreign in South Carolina. So even though this S Corp is a Florida entity, you're going to also register it in South Carolina. And that's okay. It only costs you a couple $100. You're good to go. Call my paralegals. They'll hook you up. But you're going to have to register your company in both states because you're doing business in both states. Now, here is the big question. Evan says, how can I write off my expenses when I travel and the rent and the housing? Now, I called my partner, who's amazing, Liddell Ayer of K&E CPAs, and I said, Liddell, he's going to be in South Carolina 12 months. Can he really write off his apartment, his food, and his travel to South Carolina? Well, there's actually an IRS revenue ruling, 93-86, that says if you go on temporary assignment somewhere, you can write off all of your housing, half of your food, because it's 50%, and all of your travel to and from that temporary assignment. That's pretty cool, right? So, Evan, you're in the money. But the question is, what's temporary? Well, under the revenue ruling 9386, the IRS says if it's less than 12 months, you're in the money. You can write it off. If it's over 12 months, no write-off. Evan, what me and Liddell talked about for a moment is make sure that you're traveling back and forth to Florida on a regular basis. Maintaining a residence in Florida, even if it's renting a room from someone, would help. And then finally, do not stay in South Carolina over a year. It could cost you thousands. Come back, take a break for a couple months, then go back to South Carolina. But do not work continuously for over a year or you lose the write-off for all of your food, travel, and housing. Evan, great question. Thank you, Adrian, for saving that. Okay, we're gonna take a few more questions. I'm here for you. Darcy, what do you got?
Devin Carroll, it's another kind of long question, but Devin Carroll on YouTube's asking, or he's saying, I have 2 LLCs. One is for my primary business that files as an S Corp. The other is a short-term rental business. Now I expect to have around 40K this year from YouTube, etc. No idea what to do. And then should the online income go through the primary LLC or set up an additional company?
First names?
Devin.
Devin says, everybody let me repeat this question. He says, Mark, we've got 2 LLCs. One for a short-term rental, so that's an Airbnb VRBO. Then he says, I've got a primary LLC. And what kind of business did he say he did?
So primary business that files as an S Corp, the other is a short-term.
So he didn't tell us what his business is.
40K this year from YouTube.
But he's also going to get 40K from YouTube. So he has his primary business.
Financial planning.
Financial planning, it sounds like?
Yep, that's what he
Okay,
did.
so primary is financial, consulting or advice. Then, Devin here's going to make another 40 grand on YouTube. God bless you, that's awesome, Devin. So he's got some YouTube revenue. That's awesome. When you get your silver play button, shout out, man. We'll give you some love. I'm working on my silver play. Everybody, get to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. I post YouTube videos every week. You guys would freaking love it. There's over 70 videos there. Okay, now, Devin's question was, how do I get my YouTube revenue? How do I report it, and where should it go? Hands down, 100% correct, not even a guess. Devin, you want your extra revenue to go into your S Corp. You do not want YouTube revenue going into an Airbnb short-term rental. This is going to create passive income. I've got other videos on my YouTube channel on Airbnb, VRBO, Uber driving, all of them. Get over there. But this is passive long-term. Even though you call it a short-term rental, it's long-term income, people. Over here is where you put your YouTube revenue. You're selling on Etsy. You're selling as an Amazon affiliate. You're doing your primary financial. It all goes into your S Corp. Then you do your tax planning here, Devin. You're off to the races. You're freaking rocking it. Couple more questions. It's up to you, Darcy.
Yeah, so I don't know this guy's name, but I'm going to try to say this right. eRock34444. He said, can you lease your car to your LLC if you don't own the car outright?
Okay, eRock3444 says, can I lease my car to my business? You could, but don't do that. Okay, I'm going to finish on this tip. Unless you got one more question? Okay, Darcy's throwing down. Guys, this is the year of the auto. It is amazing. There are better auto write-offs right now in the United States of America than there have ever been in the last 30 to 40 years. If you want to buy a new car or used car, new to you, or lease, this year the write-offs are better than they've ever been. Now I've got articles on my blog. I've got some YouTube videos on this. Go check them out. Very important. Now, eRock3444 says, I've got a car over here. We can even stick with Devin's example. So he goes, I've got this car and I'm going to lease it back to my S Corp. No, you don't want to lease it back to yourself because the S Corp's going to make a lease payment to you. So you get a write-off here, but then you have income here, and then how are you going to depreciate it, but you're not because you're leasing it? Don't do that. Here's the deal, guys. If you own a car already and you're starting your business, you're going to just contribute it to the business, and we're going to go with mileage. Mileage is your best method when you contribute a new vehicle to the business. Now, you could, eRock, take the car and contribute it to the business and start depreciating it. But the write-off is terrible. You don't want to do that. Because here's what the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did with Donald Trump and Congress. They said, we're going to give you amazing freaking write-offs to buy a car this year. Did you hear the word buy a car? Stimulate the economy. You don't stimulate the economy when you take your Geo Metro Jalopy and contribute it to the business. They want you to go out and buy a new vehicle or even a used vehicle over at CarMax. because that stimulates the economy. So, E-Rock, if you want to go out and sell this car and buy a new one, the write-offs, or used, the write-offs this year are amazing. But if you're just going to contribute your current car to your business, don't lease it back and forth to yourself. It's a nightmare. It's not going to get you any better write-off. Simply take mileage. It's 54.5 cents a mile this year. Track your mileage, do your best. I've got an app on my newsletter every week. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, get over to markjkohler.com and sign up for the newsletter. Okay, Darcy said one more question.
One more.
Okay, this is it, folks. You're going to love this.
Okay, so Guillermo on YouTube is asking, I run LLC classified as an S Corp. I understand the benefits of an S Corp status, but why not just register the business as an S Corp? What's the difference between LLC with S Corp status versus S Corp?
Okay, good question. And this is Guillermo. He says, Mark, I've got an LLC taxed as an S Corp. He goes, why don't I just get an Inc.? I'll just be Guillermo Enterprises Inc. Why am I Guillermo LLC taxed as an S Corp? Here's the reason why. Okay, I got Shelby on the camera right here. If Shelby came to me and says, Mark, I'm starting this new business. I'm going to start selling clothes online. I've got a great website. I'm setting up affiliate relationships with Target, that's Target for some of you, and Amazon and all these great places, and I'm going to sell clothes online. I'll say, how much money are you going to make? Well, the first year I might make 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand. Okay, cool. That's great, Shelby. Go out and let's start your business. But what is Shelby going to want to be in the long run? If she's selling a product or a service and she's going to make 50 grand or more, that's her goal. What type of entity does she want to be? Darcy, what does she want to be in the long run?
S Corp.
That's right, S Corp. Man, Darcy rocked it. So in the long run, Shelby's going to want to be an S Corp. But Guillermo's saying, well, Mark, I don't know if I want to be an S Corp right out of the gate because I'm going to have to file a corporate return. Your company maintenance is going to be the same. Your asset protection is going to be the same. Your filing fee to set it up is going to be the same. Don't think an LLC is cheaper. But the question is, in the long run, we know we're going to be an S Corp, but this is the beauty, Guillermo, of an LLC taxed as an S Corp. Because Shelby can start her online business now. She starts it as an LLC. She gets her tax ID number. She gets her banking set up, her merchant account. She starts building corporate credit. She starts running her business. She's rocking it. Oh, but she didn't make it 50 grand this year. That's okay. She still gets her write-offs and she's still a small business. But once she starts making more money, then we want to make the conversion to an S Corp. Boom. I can't go back in time and turn you guys into an S Corp. It is now October 2018. If you want to be an S Corp, we might wait until January 1st, or you're going to only be an S Corp for the rest of this year, for maybe 3 months. But any of you that had an LLC this year, and you realize an S Corp is what you really needed, I can go back in time and turn it into an S Corp as is 1/1/18. Guillermo, the LLC gives you the flexibility to go back in time and turn it into an S Corp. I can't go back in time and make you an Inc. So, last point. If any of you already know you're going to make 50 grand or more, and you're going to get out there and kill it, and we already know Shelby's going to make a ton of money, then I'm going to go straight to an S Corp. But if I need the flexibility and the time to see how it matures, I do an LLC taxed as an S Corp when the time is right. Now remember, your LLC for your rental property is going to be a different type of LLC. They're going to be brother-sister. This is the LLC for the rentals. This is the LLC that's going to become an S Corp for your operations. There are two different types of LLCs. See what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, thanks so much for being here. I love owning a small business. I want you to at least own one on the side. It's going to allow us to save taxes and build more wealth. My step one of how to start and grow a business is just that, start and grow. Every one of those steps will help you at any point you're at. Thanks for letting me be here. I'll be here next week doing step 2, and over the next 8 weeks, if I can stay committed to Darcy, she's going to hold me to it. Every week I'm going to try to do another step and make sure it's here on YouTube and on Facebook. Everybody keep living the dream, don't give up.